Hi, Kayla Eldridge, the audiologist, back again to talk about the technology that the students will be wearing in a little more detail. In this video, you're going to learn how to take care of that equipment that comes with a student with a hearing impairment. All students with a hearing loss will get a hearing aid cure kit. It's going to be a bucket of some sort with a lid on the top so that you can store it in your room. The kit is going to come with an air blower. This is what's used to get moisture out of the tubing of the hearing aid. It'll come with a little brush so that you can brush the microphone if there's any debris on there, or to get wax out of the tubing with the other end of it. There will be a battery checker, and it could be like this one here that's kind of a little small one that you just put the battery up to it right there. Or it could be a bigger one like this where you actually fit the battery into one of the compartments and push down on it to see what the reading is for the battery. The next thing that you will have in there is going to be a listening scope. The listening scope is something that you will actually be able to put into your ear. You put the hearing aid on this end, and then that way you're able to hear what it is that they're hearing out of the hearing aid. Then you will also get a cleaning cloth and some alcohol wipes if you need to clean anything off. Please know that hearing aids do possibly carry COVID. So we have kiddos that have open ears, meaning that they don't have a tympanic membrane in their ear. So if they have anything or any illness inside their middle ear system, that comes in contact with the hearing aid itself, and you could be subjecting yourself to touching something that could possibly have the COVID virus or another virus on it. So be sure if you are going to touch hearing aids that you make sure that you have gloves on and that you wash before and after you do that contact with those hearing aids. The other thing that'll come in the kit is a dry aid kit, and this is just in case the hearing aids were to get wet at school. You can put them in here and this will remove the moisture out from that. So the hearing aid kit will be kept either in the nurse's office or in the classroom. Students are also going to get a hearing aid logbook. I had mentioned in the last video that it is a legal issue to not document that we're doing the hearing aids checks on a daily basis. So this actually shows our compliance that the hearing aid technology is being checked and monitored. In the folder, you're going to get your some information about having a check log that's going to show you whether or not the child had the hearing aid on or not. So that's going to be something that you're going to use. There'll also in the front cover be a note that can be sent home to parents. And in the back cover is going to be a note for you guys that has my contact information on it. So if you need to get a hold of me, you can. This is, down here is what it looks like. So you just check mark if the aids or FM were satisfactory or unsatisfactory, and then just initial that it's been done. So I got a little bit ahead of myself there when I was talking about checking it off. If your student has a hearing aid or a cochlear implant, you'll need to check it daily. So you're going to make sure that the child is or student is wearing the hearing aid or cochlear implant. If not, you need to ask where the aid is at. If it's a repeated problem, notify the audiologist and the parents that it's being an issue. And if the student has a hearing aid, you can just cup your hand over it or when it's even still in their ear, and if it has the squeal sound, then you know that it's producing sound. If it doesn't, then you know that there's something that might need some troubleshooting. If you're not comfortable doing troubleshooting, that's not a problem. You can give me a call and I would be happy to come by and take a look at it. Then the next thing would be to go ahead and plug it into an earbud so that you can actually listen to it. If a student has cochlear implants, that's going to look a little bit different. It actually looks like a earbud. So like you would listen to music out of instead of having the listening scope for that. Then you'll just want to make sure that you do mark those results down into the hearing aid logbook. This is what a bone conduction hearing aid looks like. So it may be on a soft band or it may be on a little snap on the child's head. Either way, that's another form of hearing aid that some of our students do have. Okay. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about troubleshooting the hearing aid. So it's just a simple guide on troubleshooting the hearing aid. Just follow the steps that are there. You have that battery checker in your hearing aid that will easily check the strength of the battery. So to find out if it works without an ear mold, you're going to remove the ear mold with the flexible tubing attached from the hard tubing of the hearing aid. If you hear sound out of the hearing aid, you know something's wrong with the ear mold. You then can clean or inspect the ear mold or contact the audiologist to try the ear mold again. If while you're inspecting the ear mold you find moisture, you can use the blower to dry it out. You can make notes of any repairs that need to be done and call the parents and the audiologist as needed. If you're not comfortable again doing these troubleshooting of the hearing aid, just make sure and give me a call and I will help you through it. Next, we're going to talk about the weekly listening check. For most of our students, we do a Ling listening check weekly. And what you would do is you would go ahead and use your listening scope so that you have it and you're listening to the actual hearing aid itself. You want to make sure that you say the 6 Ling sounds to make sure that they're clear for you, and note any problems that you would have with that in the log book. So then you would just contact the parents or the audiologist if there's a concern with the hearing aid. For some of our younger students, we actually do this Ling 6 listening test for each day. And it's to make sure that there's not a change in their hearing or something that needs to be addressed immediately. The 6 Ling sounds are really easy. You have an ah, oo, e, sh, s, So those are the 6 sounds that you want to make sure are coming out of the hearing aid nice and clearly. If we're doing the daily check on the student will actually be wearing the hearing aid while you do that Ling 6 test. And they may point to the picture or they may repeat back what it is that you said, just ensuring that they are having full use of their hearing. All right, now let's talk a little bit more about those microphone or transmitter that could be being used for your student. There's parts to the system, so we're going to talk about each one. We'll start with this one, which is your touchscreen system. And it has got a microphone up here at the top. And when you're wearing it in lanyard mode or around your neck, it's going to pick up that top microphone. It also has another microphone in it that if it's laying down on the desk like this, it will actually pick up the kids around. So it works really well for your small group settings. So depending on whether you have it up, it'll pick up that top microphone. If you have it down like this, it's going to pick up from all of the microphones and get more of a surround sound for the student. Your big thing on this is you have a power button over here on the side. Just push and hold that power button until it powers up here. Sorry, I'm backwards on the video. The big thing that you need to remember too is that you have a mute button down here. That's going to be anytime you go off to talk to another student or to have a private conversation in the hallway, anything that you do not want your student to hear, you're going to want to make sure and mute your microphone so that they are not hearing those private conversations. Same thing on the Inspiro system. It's got a little belt clip on the back that you can find a spot to clip it. Then you would just simply unravel the microphone. And then it's got an on-off switch at the top. So green means that it's turned on. You can see there that it started to turn on there. And then you're going to want to clip your microphone about 6 inches from your mouth. So doing a Y from your lips down to where the microphone is set up at is going to give you that good distance. It's going to also give you that good distance if you have the other microphone as well. So you can use that either way to make sure that you've got a good distance there. On this one, the cording actually works as an antenna for this sound. So you want to make sure and have it all the way unwound when you're using it. And then just use the clip on the lapel pin to put that microphone where it needs to be at. Then there's also a mute button on this one. And this mute button is going to be just right in the center, right below where the screen is at. So that's your mute button on there. And the third picture on here is the pass mic, and we're not using those this year, so I'm not going to go through that technology right now. Okay, next we're going to talk about the receiver piece of the hearing assistive technology piece. So the receiver is typically going to be just a little silver piece that slips into the bottom of a hearing aid. So it's going to go either like this one where we have a little clear audio shoe and the receiver just pops right into that hearing aid. Sometimes we have a colored battery door and it pops into that bottom of it like that. Some of our kiddos have streamer systems, and these streamers actually go around the student's neck, and then the receiver would pop into the bottom of the streamer here. But the receiver is the piece that takes and makes the microphone talk to the actual hearing aids itself. So we need to make sure that we have these receivers on, or the system isn't going to be working properly. Some students also have a sound field system, which looks like this tower here, and it'll be pretty obvious whether that's receiving sound because you'll actually be able to hear the sound coming out of that system. Next, you're going to need to be able to sync or pair up that microphone with that receiver. So each day, you'll have, after you've turned it on, you'll want to come up behind the student, and there's a button that's shown on here. For this one, it's just a little soft key here on the touch screen. It'll have the little links together that you hit. So this one, the Inspiro, it says sync here. This handheld touch screen, it'll actually say connect. You need to be within about 6 inches of the hearing aids to be able to have that work. So usually I just have teachers hold it right behind in the middle of their head, and then that should be able to sync those up like we need them to. And it'll tell you that the Roger has been connected. Okay, your next is to check to make sure that that FM system is working properly. So you'll want to do a quick listening check there. May ask a student to touch their head or their nose or something. Make it something novel that's not the same every single day. What color shirt somebody's wearing. Ask them to name something, just so that we make sure that that FM system is working every day as well. Some students might have some accessories that will come with their hearing aids in their kits, and what that could look like is it could be a cord that hooks, an audio cord that would hook up the bottom of the FM system into a computer, and that would allow them to use the microphone and receiver system that we've got with the FM to listen to what's being done on their computer. We also have some students that have got headphones, and those headphones are used for some of their reading testing, and you want to make sure that they have access to that. And again, they would just plug into the bottom of the FM system. There's a little audio port in the bottom of both of the systems that you can put that audio port into. Then there's also at the bottom of each one of the FM systems is a charge port, just like what we would have on our cell phones. And so you want to make sure that those FM systems get plugged in every night so that they have plenty of power to be able to use the following day. Also, you can't overcharge this equipment, so if we're gone over a long weekend or over for Christmas break or whatever, they can remain plugged in. And I'm just going to do a real quick reminder to make sure that during the day you're using the system, you're using the accessories, you're passing the microphone when we're using those. And because we're not using that pass microphone this year, make sure that you're repeating what other students in the classroom are saying into that FM system to make sure that our students with hearing impairment have access to everything that's being said in the classroom, including what their peers say. Okay, lastly, if you have any questions, be sure that you give me a call. My phone number again is 316-494-1656, or you can email me via the email that I send you these recordings. Thank you so much for taking care of our student with hearing impairment, and I look forward to working with you.